Hey everyone, it's Kristine. I just wanted to walk through a little gameplay of the Wwise Adventure Game. I was able to compose and implement the score for this during my video game scoring class at NYU during my master's, and so I really wanted to share a little bit of that work. It's not going to be a full lengthy playthrough, but it's not going to be quite a speedrun either. So this is my initial title screen music, just something chill. Something I thought was really interesting about this game is there's a juxtaposition between more modern elements, like our main character over here. She has a very modern athletic wear on, but this is a more medieval village with a blacksmith and a wizard, so I kind of wanted to implement that in the music. So I juxtapose a lot of modern elements, such as the genre. So I do a lot of lo-fi inspired, some rock, some trap later on inspired stuff, as well as kind of medieval sounding instruments. So kind of like lutes and, woodwinds, things like that. So we'll move on. So this is my training area music, and this music was inspired by Greensleeves, or What Child Is This? So you can hear that in the melody. So now we're gonna move to the village. And the village theme is kind of the main theme throughout.
Hello, adventurer. You are just in time. Something's gone terribly wrong in the land of Allegro. Our village has been struck by a plague of evil. This dark essence is consuming our beautiful vegetation, and poisonous plants have grown in there. Can you help me save Allegro Kingdom?
So that's kind of the
I believe
plot.
I have a book somewhere in my house that may help us clean it. I remember placing it somewhere in the small
I'm going to kind of
room
skip
to the left
through
of
some
the
of the
entrance.
dialogue
Would you
because
kindly retreat? Why
it's
can
not
I not
entirely
retrieve it
necessary.
myself? Well, if you must know,
And the
I've
wizard's kind of
developed
odd,
a crippling
so
case of
I'll skip through
claustrophobia.
some of it.
As you can see, my house is rather...
So as you can hear, kind of what I mentioned earlier, I have more lo-fi beat vibe,
magnificent.
but
Let me see. This
a
must
hint
be a
of
new
medieval.
kind of evil that has not yet been documented. To continue our research, can you collect a sample of this dark essence and return
so
it
each
to me?
section,
I would
like
clearly
area of the
embark
game,
on this
has a
dangerous
different
journey myself, but I
piece of
fear
music,
my claustrophobia
and
will
also
rear its head.
music for the daytime versus
So,
the nighttime.
I'm terrified of combat, evil, danger, monsters, and hearty exercise. Have fun. Oh, and one more thing. I've heard tale from the... I see... Go see... Remember, when you were...
Yeah, we'll just skip through all of this. So now I'm gonna go to the blacksmith and grab a sword because my wooden one won't handle it. Oops, missed it. So I also have that stinger right there, and that's for any time that you collect any sort of item. I'm going to change the day to daytime because there's daytime specific music that I would love for you to hear for this area. So this is the woodlands area. And for the woodlands area, I was inspired a lot by Gravity. This is still kind of the nighttime version of the music, but it will change. I don't know why I ran into that. So I'm not quite sure what happened here. I started playing the intro music. This is more of the daytime. You can hear that kind of bass sound, very inspired by Gravity Falls.
strange. Yes. Here is the... I will also need I have an old cabin in the pine forest. You'll find it there.
Skip through this.
To retrieve the
You just
crystals...
have to collect more things. So I'm gonna go grab a pickaxe from the blacksmith. You're gonna hear that stinger right there again. And then we keep going. I'm just gonna teleport to each area for time's sake. So we have these little rock evil things. So we're just gonna mine some stuff, grab these crystals and some mushrooms. Try and avoid them so we don't have to fight them. Oh, when you get a little bit too close on that side, you'll start to hear things from a different room. So you heard the music kind of change. That's because I was too close to the wall. Sometimes that happens. It's a little bit of a glitch that I could fix, but I took this class a year ago, so that's okay. Now I'm gonna teleport to the, I teleported to the woodlands. We're gonna go to the pine forest. I wanted this one to be a little bit more slightly inspired by like Lord of the Rings. Obviously it sounds nothing like that. Wow, I completely missed that. But just in the arpeggiation. I'm probably gonna let myself die here so that you can hear the death stinger. So that's the stinger for any time you die. Now that I have everything, we're gonna go back to the wizard.
Ah, perfect. This is exactly what we need for this. I believe it was sealed. I will...
So now we're gonna go to the desert. One thing that I really wish I was able to figure out, my professor and I for this video game scoring class literally spent hours trying to figure out what was wrong with my Wwise specifically.
Good.
Wwise is a middleware that you use to like implement the music into the game. And for some reason, none of my combat music that is layered on top, like the area's music, loaded into the game, no matter how we tried. And the same thing with my forge, which is like the final area of the game. It didn't load. So you just kind of hear this dungeon music throughout, which is fine. But I had a lot more trap-inspired elements and like rock-inspired elements. This area is definitely inspired by Natalie Holt's score for Loki. There's that item collection sticker. Alright. We're gonna go over to this rock. Smash that. You'll hear some music that's totally different. That's for a different pack that the game offers. The DLC pack. So this isn't my music. This is the actual Wwise game music. Kind of hear mine in the back. They kind of blend a little.
We have all that we need for the spell now. Darkest rituals were performed in a place known as the Forge. It's located deeper in the onward to our final.
Okay, let's move it along. All right, now we're gonna go to the Forge, which is like the final battle area. And unfortunately, I don't know what happened. My professor and I couldn't figure it out, but the music was not loading for this area. But it's a lot heavier drums, guitar. But this is still the dungeon music, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna kind of move it along rather than fight all these evil monsters. So we get up here, and I have to fight them and then cast a spell. isn't playing. But that's okay. It's a different vibe for sure. It's a lot more powerful, I would say, for this scene. Let me just defeat these so I don't get killed while I'm trying to do the spell. So I have to do this a couple of times. Now I'm gonna do it one more time and defeat these ones real quick. Oh, okay. And now I'm looking up. Okay, there we go. Last one. I'm gonna cast the spell one more time. Okay, yada yada. I'm gonna hit the core. This was another reason that I wanted to have that juxtaposition of modern versus medieval, because womp womp, you can't win the game. There is no winning. So I thought that was kind of ironic. So I wanted it to kind of sound a little bit ironic in the music. I hope that makes sense. Here you can kind of hear a little bit of the combat music that I was talking about. This is my intro to the woodlands, and you'll hear the combat right on top. Heavier drums, kind of that at the bottom. For some reason, it loads here, but not in the actual game. Yeah, that's the Wwise Adventure Game. I loved getting to learn how to use Wwise. It was very challenging. This was like a semester-long course, and we wrote the music and did everything. But yeah, thanks for watching.